Well, hello everyone. This is the first installment of what I'm going to be doing. Today, I'm going to be reading you a page from my notebook that I write in. And this is going to be, an interesting one. This is going to be about growing up. And you might be like, well, what do you mean, bro? That happens to everybody. Right, and it does, but I feel that people accept that they're growing up at very different times, and that's what this is about. So, go on ahead and get started, then I'll give you kind of I'll stop and elaborate on things as we go, but let's just get started. I feel like growing up comes at different times for everyone. More so, I think people accept that they're growing up at different times. I feel that I've accepted the fact that times are changing, and as I get older, I realize more that many of the things I did, are childish. A few examples of these things are the way I dress, that gets elaborated later, having Snapchat installed, and making my life revolve around women. Now, we're going to go ahead and start elaborating on the way I dressed. I always sagged my pants and wore the baggiest pants I had, and just overall not really caring about how I looked, how I was perceived. Now I kind of don't feel good about myself when I dress like that, because it shows, like, from the outside looking in, it looks like I don't care about my appearance and that I just overall don't care. And since I've accepted that times are changing and I'm getting older, I've started trying to make myself a better person, working on, self-help stuff, being more responsible and things like that. And I want people to be able to see that looking at me. I want them to see me and say, that guy cares. Now, we're going to elaborate on my life revolving around women thing. I feel like even like a month ago, I was extremely focused on women. And what I mean by revolving around women is that it was always my main focus. I would always try and impress girls I was around because, in a way, it was the only thing I set my mind on. That was kind of the only thing I had my mind on. I was just kind of trying to seek that out and seek women, and that's not a good way to live life. I've somewhat changed my mindset now because, I've found one. It's been going well, and that, to me, I've never felt that way. And so now, it's kind of becoming like that like it doesn't even cross my mind anymore. I was always chasing the feeling of being wanted and needed, but I feel like now that I've kind of quit making my life revolve around women and decided to just work on myself, I don't have that feeling anymore, because now I can realize that I can make, like, okay, it's really hard to explain, I'm so sorry. I don't feel that need anymore. I think I'm making myself a better person, and that is satisfying my need to feel wanted. I don't know if that's going to make sense to everybody. It makes sense to me, but I'm also the one saying it. So, take that with a grain of salt. But I think different people accepting that they're growing up at different times is something that isn't talked about enough. I think me realizing now, I'm 16, and I'm realizing that I'm not young anymore. Now, I'm not going to say I'm grown. I can't go purchase alcohol products or join the military, so by that logic, no, I'm not grown. But I believe that accepting that you are growing up is one of the most mature things you can do. And that I feel now, since I've accepted that I'm growing up, I've become a better person overall, whether that's to be around or, just, to see. Like, when people see me, I feel like I give off a that guy cares kind of vibe. And that is what, I don't want to say that's what I'm chasing. I do it for me. I want to, I care, so I'm putting more effort into the way I dress, the way I, handle myself, all of that stuff. So I feel that other people looking in can see that, and that's what I strive for. Because I don't think that the whole not trying not trying, basically showing that like you don't care to try and look cool, I don't think that is a good image to have. I think being someone who looks like they care and cares about their well-being and how they handle themselves and how they are perceived is ultimately a better person. And that's not to say that if you give off that kind of I don't care and I don't try kind of vibe, that's not to say you're a bad person. It's just to say that I don't think that's the best way to carry yourself. So, thank you. It was 7 minutes long. I didn't expect to talk that long, but thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.